Good morning and welcome to the Peorian. I'm Paul Gordon, your host. Finding ways to fight crime and gang violence is a problem faced by nearly every city in the country. But there are no easy answers, no single book that says this is how it's done. But there are unique programs that fight crime and violence using the creative minds of its leaders to get youth off the streets and interested in something better with which to fill their time. Now, not all kids can afford to hole up in their bedrooms playing the latest computer games for hours on end, nor can they drop $10 to hit the cinemas on a very frequent basis. But kids do love music. They love to dance and sing. They love to express themselves in their own ways through their own creativity. Well, here in Peoria, there is a new dance studio that is certainly not your run-of-the-mill dance studio. I don't mean to malign dance studios. They are important parts of our culture. But City Dance Peoria is committed to changing lives through dance and other arts, focused on youth and young adults and giving them instruction on the kind of dance they want and need as a way to express themselves in safe, responsible ways. The founders of City Dance Peoria are my guests today, and we'll talk about their studio when we come back. Welcome back to the Peorian. My guest today is Tyler Relph, who, with his wife Amanda, founded and own City Dance, an exciting new dance studio in Peoria that serves at-risk youth and gives them an outlet for their creativity that they otherwise might not get. Welcome to the show, Tyler.
Thank you very much.
First of all, tell us about City Dance, what your goals and mission are.
Yeah. City Dance is a nonprofit organization committed to changing lives through dance and arts mentorship. And basically we're seeking these at-risk youth and providing them a place of support and encouragement and mentorship that we can basically just encourage them into making better life choices.
Okay. Do they choose to come on? Will the schools refer kids maybe? Or
we're working with a few schools right now, Harrison Elementary and Treewin, and we're setting up programming for the fall so we can be down there a couple days out of the week. And so the schools are encouraging the kids to get involved.
That's great.
And at this point, we've in the springtime we were down there for about a month working with the kids, and they said that their behavior would improve or had improved, and that they're seeing just an excitement that they've not seen with the kids. They're listening and very respectful. So we've already seen a little bit of good come out of this, and so we're just excited to see what's going to happen over the fall.
Where is your studio, by the way?
Well, right now we're working out of a lot of different community sites.
Oh, okay.
So we've been working out of Cornerstone Academy for the Performing Arts, the Cornerstone building downtown. We've been at Dream Center. We've been doing some stuff with Goodwill's Good Guides program and Southside Mission, Harrison Elementary, Treewin. So we're just all over the community right now, just looking to serve where we can. So. Do
you eventually hope to have a studio?
Absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, we want to be that center for the arts in Peoria. Basically, create a community center where kids can come and you know, if they want to do some graffiti in a legal way, they could come to our studio and get hands-on experience in you know, defining that, or maybe graphic design. Maybe dance isn't their thing. Maybe we can get them involved with graphic design, audio production engineering, photography, videography. So really, there's a big, broad scope here of the arts that we can connect the kids up with mentors that do this professionally or as a passion, and get them experience, and they can start doing some interns and just developing a skill so that they can, I guess, bridge that gap from school to finding a job that's creative in the adult world.
The intent is giving them a way to express themselves and their creativity, correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, and if you think about it, there are some of these kids that they just don't have a good home life, and so we're basically wanting to provide a place where the kids can come and you know, say there is crisis going on in the home, we can connect them up with a mentor that would be able to help them develop some life skills that might be able to help them better handle their situations at home. You know, maybe they don't feel like they have any way out of what they're seeing. You know, maybe these mentors might be able to give them a different perspective of, hey, you can't change that situation, but you can change yourself and how you react to the situation. You know, trying to develop some life skills with the kids and just mentor them along and help them develop some Some things like integrity, honesty, respect,
Yeah.
hard work ethic, things of that nature.
What was your impetus for starting City Dance?
For the longest time, my wife and I just really, we met dancing. And so
Okay.
our biggest thing was, hey, we want to be able to open our own studio. But for the longest time, we looked like every other studio out there, and let's do it for profit, and let's make some money at this. And the more we thought about it, it was a process of about 5 years of us kind of jumping back and forth, and it got to the point where it was like, you know what? Maybe we're doing this the whole wrong way. Maybe we need to have more of a community approach, but yet still being able to do our dance thing. And so we started kind of toying with the idea of having a nonprofit side, where we can get corporate donors or personal donors behind the mission and help fund, and yet still be able to reach the kids. You know, the average dance studio, you can expect to pay about $300 a month for unlimited dance classes, and that doesn't include fees for competition or costume fees, things of that nature. What we're looking to do is create this at $50 a month, very much like a gym membership. So,
Okay.
So once we have our studio location, it'll be from 3 to 9. They can walk in the door and take 6 hours of dance class for $50 a month. And if, again, say dance isn't their thing, we can hook them up with mentors in a variety of other arts that would be able to get them that skill to hone. So.
When we come back, I want to talk more about the kind of dance and art that you will do at
Okay.
City Dance. But first, we're going to give you a few seconds of a video about the kind of dancing that they do at City Dance.
Hi, my name's Tyler Relph. I'm owner and CEO of City Dance. City Dance is a nonprofit organization committed to changing lives through dance and arts mentorship programs, targeting underprivileged youth in Peoria and surrounding communities. The unfortunate reality is that some of these kids don't have a good home life. They're looking for a mentor, somebody to look up to. At City Dance, we hope to use the arts as a vehicle to gain their trust and to become the mentors they need to be able to make better life choices. In looking around Peoria, my wife and I found that there really weren't a whole lot of places to go for hip hop. Sure, you have jazz and tap and ballet, but hip hop is our main thing. And the kids we're looking to serve, well, that's their main thing. We want to provide these kids a safe, encouraging atmosphere where they can come and live out their passions.
I think it's really great to offer the kids within our community something different, something they can relate to, and something that is for them.
Welcome back. I'm with Tyler Relph, co-founder of City Dance, the new studio that aims to help at-risk youth stay away from a life of crime. You said right before the break that it's for $50 a month. Mm-hmm. If the child cannot afford the $50, they can still come, right?
Yes, absolutely. That's where we're getting the community involved in sponsoring a kid.
Okay.
We've had a few organizations in the area say, hey, you know what, we're willing to sponsor a kid for the next 3 months, and so that gives them the ability to come take lessons for 3 months, and we can, you know, at the end of that, find other donors to help, or they can renew that.
Okay.
So.
And have you had any trouble finding donors at this point?
At this point, you know, I feel like we've had a lot of great exposure, but and a lot of great community involvement thus far. But as far as donors go, it's been a little scarce. Okay. So we just recently got our 501c3, which was the big hiccup in allowing donations to come in, because obviously that's tax exempt for them. Okay. And while not everybody requires that, it's something that is a nice thing to have for our donors.
Okay.
So.
What training have you and Amanda had that enables you to not only teach dance to these kids, but help these kids with their life?
Yeah. Well, my wife, Amanda, started taking dance at the age of 4, and has been working in the industry, teaching dance and just being around the dance industry for, well, her whole life pretty much. Amanda was the captain of Studio X, the elite dance force, back about 8 or 9 years ago, and that's initially where we met. And at that point, back up, I started dancing at 15, and really just kind of fell in love with hip hop, and so I ended up pursuing that. I graduated high school a year early to be able to move to LA and started training out there, and did an album release party. I danced at Little Romeo's album release party, and was in a Pink video as an extra, and then did a national tour with a Christian group called Zoe Girl, and we had 52 show dates around the nation, and then one over in Amsterdam.
Wow!
And that was by far the biggest show I've ever done. So that was a lot of fun. But other than that,
have you been where these kids are?
You know what? Yes. Okay, so I joined the military in 2004, and at that point, we had a reduction in pay by 75%, and so we were at the end of the month making about $600 a month after paying bills and things of that nature. So we've been at that point where, you know, my wife made sure our child was fed and I was fed, but there were days where she would go without. You know, so we've experienced poverty. She's had a lot of situations in her life that have been very dark at points, and dance was one of the main things that got her through these times, that along with her relationship with God. And to be able to come along some of these kids and say, hey, I don't know exactly what you're going through, but here's some of the situations we've experienced. You know, we've experienced job loss, health concerns, poverty. You know, we've experienced these things, and here's a little, I don't know, basically here's how we handled it, and just being that support for them. You know, a lot of the dance community is very much like a family. It's like brothers and sisters, and when you develop that relationship, you can find like just a source of strength through community and through just come alongside one another and just being that support for them. So so have we been exactly where these kids are? No, probably not. But we've experienced things of our own that help us in understanding some of the struggles they're going through, at least. Okay. So
we're going to take a break now for a word from some of our sponsors, and when we come back, we're going to talk about ways the public can help City Dance accomplish its goals. But first, here is our own Kevin Kaiser to tell us what is happening in the literary and culinary world.
Hey, it's almost 8:30 on Sunday morning, which means it's the perfect time to talk about booze. So here's a brand new episode of my award-entered segment called Kevin Reads Stuff So You Don't Have To, Alcohol Edition. The book today is Everyday Drinking, The Distilled Kingsley Amis. Now, I'd heard about this book for years and had read some of Amis's novels, so I was really looking forward to it, and I was not disappointed. It's easy to see where his son, novelist Martin Amis, got his wit. Kingsley Amis intersperses hilarious alcohol-related short stories with his own well-tested recipes, some of which are named after his famous novels like Lucky Jim, and others named after famous friends like Evelyn Waugh's Noonday Reviver. And then there are rather helpful musings on subjects like The Hangover, which he called a piece of selfless research undertaken by a pioneer. Then there's The Boozing Man's Diet, What to Drink with What, and How Not to Get Drunk. It's a great primer for those wanting to learn more about wine, beer, and spirits, complete with a massive test at the end. On hangovers, he writes, "The abolition of the hangover would have far-reaching and perhaps dangerous effects on our civilization. A great restraining influence would be gone. And if the old gray cloud no longer vanishes as if by magic at the first touch of alcohol as it once did, you know that middle age is upon you." He talks about 2 sure cures for a hangover, a half an hour in an open airplane and a stint at the coalface on the early shift. On tequila, he said, it's a white spirit made from a tropical plant that sometimes gets called a cactus, though consensus seems to be that it isn't a cactus, though very much like one. So there we are then. And when struggling to sound knowledgeable about wine, if everything goes wrong, say, I don't suppose any of you chaps have seen last year's French government report on wine manufacture, which is pretty safe considering there wasn't one. So check out Everyday Drinking, The Distilled Kingsley Amis, which also features an introduction by the late, great Christopher Hitchens. That wraps up another episode of Kevin Reads Stuff So You Don't Have To, Alcohol Edition. And as always, you, my friend, are welcome.
I'm back with Tyler Relph, co-founder of City Dance. Tyler, before we go on, what are some of the dance forms that you will teach at City Dance?
Yeah, we're going to be teaching mainly hip hop. That's the thing we're trying to reach the kids with the most, because we feel that's what they relate to the best. However, we're also going to be doing some contemporary, which is kind of a lyrical style. And we've partnered with Cornerstone Academy for the Performing Arts, and they're going to be offering our ballet. On top of that, we have street jazz, which is a mix between hip hop and contemporary, or a lyrical. And so those are the main styles of dance that we're going to be offering.
Will the students ever get a chance to show off to the public what they've learned?
Absolutely. We're going to be a studio that doesn't just focus on going to a competition, because at competitions what they do is you pay money, you go up and dance, and then they say, oh wow, those were great lines. Oh, better watch that. And so those are comments that we can provide them at the studio. And so what we want to do is be a entertainment for the community that they're a part of.
Okay.
So we're going to find avenues or events in the community where we can book City Dance kids out to go perform. Say there's performances going on at HOI Fair. That's something that the kids could go perform and say, hey, we're part of Peoria. This is part of our community. This is how we can make an impact. And so basically just looking for events going on in the area where we can plug the kids in and provide them an opportunity to go show off their talents.
What about recitals or concerts at various places, especially once you get your own studio?
Yeah, what we kind of want to do with that is make it at least a couple times a year, make it a big community event.
Okay.
Where we get a sponsor on board. Say, for instance, maybe we want to do something to help out Susan G. Komen. We could create an event that is focused around the arts and how we can promote breast cancer awareness, or maybe HIV.
Dance for the Cure?
Dance for the Cure.
Okay.
There's a lot of different ways that we can turn it around, impact the community, and yet still be able to show off the kids' talents.
Contemporary Art Center has every Friday night at, I can't remember what the studio is called where they have it, but maybe up there or something.
Yeah.
Live
yeah.
at the 5 spot, I think is what they call it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we could do it there.
The Waterhouse.
Big dream, I think, would probably be the Civic Center.
Well, sure.
So we're looking into the future,
Okay.
So.
You also intend to teach about physical fitness and good habits, correct?
Absolutely. One of the main things with dance is you have to be able to take care of your body. And so we're going to encourage proper diet, and then along with that, dance is not, some people might think it's just something you just go and do, but they don't really recognize how much of a physical, how physically taxing it is on the body. And so we're gonna teach classes that help them. Hey, if you've got aches and pains in this way, this is how you take care of your body. And through dancing, if they come in and they dance for 2 hours a day, the obesity rates in this community will drop significantly.
Nutrition's an important part of it also.
Absolutely. You can't be hitting the McDonald's every day. You gotta get your fresh fruits and veggies and stay away from the red meats so yeah, very important.
What are some of the ways that the public can help you accomplish your goals?
At this point, one thing we're looking for is partners in the community that we can go and reach out to kids, whether that's youth groups, whether that's other nonprofit organizations. Basically, we just at this point need access to kids so that we can do what we feel called to do.
Okay.
And one thing that's gonna propel us in that are funds backing us to do this. We feel like there's a lot of great community support and a lot of community backing, and at this point we're just needing to start seeing the funds kind of start coming in. We are going to be writing for grants from the government and finding various community resources that we can access.
Foundations, that sort of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. And then eventually we'd like to start seeing some personal donations of maybe families that want to sponsor a kid for a month or even 6 months. it's at this point of, this organization we just need to cover our costs. It's not like we're looking to make a ton of money. We just need to be able to cover our costs, and that's kind of where we're sitting at right now. So.
And how well received have you been in the community so far?
Unbelievably. Everybody that we talk to is very excited about what we're doing, and just excited to see the passion that we're bringing to Peoria. And one little aspect of this that I forgot to mention a bit ago is we have a breakdance team. It's called Dope Styles Crew. And basically what we did was we went out to Milwaukee, Detroit, Chicago, Indianapolis, and St. Louis.
Wow.
and looked at basically the kids in those cities and said, hey, how has dance impacted your life? And they've said, you know what, at 8 I was involved in gang activity. Now I had that decision that I could go become a gang member, or I could go become a hip hop break dancer. And it's that brotherhood that you find through dance that has impacted my life, and now I'm here instead of there. And so they said, we've seen. Some of the guys on our team that went, they said, we've seen what this will do, and it's just exciting to think what 5 years down the road will take. We'll start seeing these kids saying, hey, you know what, City Dance changed my life.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today, and I hope we've been able to generate some excitement for you about this new dance studio and this young couple and what they are trying to do for our youth. If you want more information about City Dance, visit citydancepeoria.org. Remember, you can see this and other programs on our website, thepeorian.com. And tune in next week for another episode. Have a good week.
Música